Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Friday, July 31st. Wow, Payton. July 31st. I mean, this month flew by for me. Fall camp for Mizzou football. The official start date is Monday. It's the first practice, but Sunday is media day. So I'll be at that, Payton, most likely. I'll see what we can get from that media day as well on Sunday with a lot of conversations because you get to talk with every coach and every player is pretty much available. I bet there will be some limits for some guys, some bigger media scrums for others. We'll get to Sterling Webb and quick hits. We'll probably get some Malnati updates as well, some updates on the outlooks on offense and defense. But before then, welcome back. Unwritten Rule brought to you by FanDuel on the Believe Network. We're running out of time. SEC Media Days took up one of our shows, so we have to combine some of these early season previews with some of these opponents for Missouri, especially when you get later into SEC play. So we're going to be talking about Arkansas and Texas, and this is two different opponents, two different total contests and probably meanings to the season, especially for both teams. But we'll start with the Razorbacks, Payton. Looking at this 2026 Arkansas team, new look. Of course, Sam Pittman was fired amid last year. The Razorbacks finished the season 2-10, losing their final game of the year, 31-17, in just a sloppy, muddy, terrible weathered game in Fayetteville against Missouri. I think we talked about this recently. Bo Pribula had four completions, 7 passing attempts for 25 yards. Everything was on the ground in this one for Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts. It's a new look team, though. Silverfield comes over from Memphis. There's a lot of connections there with some of his staff members that came over, but a lot of guys returning as well. KJ Jackson's still at quarterback, the redshirt sophomore. This offensive line is still filled with some guys that were originally at Arkansas. They get a new left guard in Malachi Breland. Bryant Williams is a projected right tackle for this team, and then a new wide receiver among those 3 starters, and Chris Marshall, who comes over from Boise State. So there's a lot of, newer faces, but still, some guys from years past still on this team. And running back Braylon Russell is the projected starter as well, but there's 2 transfers in that room, and Sutton Smith and Jasper Parker. What do you make of this Arkansas offense? And I don't know if we can make of anything just yet. We don't really have, a lot of, time behind us to really overanalyze this Arkansas team.
Yeah, certainly your mind immediately goes to KJ Jackson. It was a big deal that they were able to keep him in the fold. He played a bit against Missouri last year. Certainly an interesting player. He can hurt you with both on the ground and through the air. It was probably more about just seeing what you had than him actually being better than Taylon Green when he played against Missouri. But it was an interesting dilemma. I certainly came out of it somewhat impressed with him. You look back at it's kind of a thing that's happened a few times with Arkansas, Missouri. Of course, KJ Jefferson, got his first career start against Missouri way back when. That's a game you'll remember fondly, Kenny. But they've lost so much. Mike Washington gone. They're breaking in a lot of new receivers. It does look like there's some continuity on the O-line, according to our lads. I don't know if all these guys necessarily started, but there are 3 returners that are projected to start, according to our lads. So that can certainly help a young QB out. But I don't really know that you'd really still go into this game sweating it. You never know until the games are actually played and see how Arkansas looks. But I don't think it's really a stretch to say that this is a game Missouri should be able to pencil in as a win. That's just kind of how this series has been. Arkansas has been a nothing football program for quite a number of years now, no matter what that random one-off year they had in 2021 was or not. It's by and large been a pretty terrible football program for a lot of years. Of course, this isn't on Thanksgiving anymore, Thanksgiving week. That's both. I don't know that I'd say it's a shame or not, because the game Missouri got there, of course, is a cool one. But certainly, I think it does take a little bit of shine off this game. But either way, I think the expectation for Missouri is going to remain the same. I think you're going to probably go in and expect a win in this one.
Yeah, Halloween game, Payton. Is that not more fun to you than Black Friday? How about that?
No, it's not.
All right, that will be Saturday, October 31st. Like Payton mentioned, no longer that last game of the season, that rivalry week game. I don't really think it does anything to really go into this defense and talk about it. Just looking at our lads, which we're using as these early depth charts, because you never get an official one, or we might be a couple weeks out from unofficials from some of these teams. But there are 6 projected transfers starting on this defense as well. But I wanted to talk about Ryan Silverfield a little bit more. I read through this Q&A that Kyle McReevy did for Mizzou today with Kyle Sutherland, another Kyle from Hogbeat on the On3 Rivals Network. And this quote really stood out to me, Payton. This is a question from Kyle M. The only place to start is new head coach Ryan Silverfield. What's the feeling about the hire around the program and with the fans? I skipped down a little bit, and he said one of the very first things he did was buy brighter light bulbs for the meeting room because the current ones were too dim and depressing. And there's like this all-in mantra. They're trying to really uplift a lot of this stuff. And I feel like this is going to be a tough job for Ryan Silverfield. It felt like that meme of, lockouts, or we're going to do a walkout at 11:30 for, so-and-so, free whoever gets suspended, the Armand Membu, like when he got, kicked out for the second half, we're gonna have a walkout at 11:30, let Armand Membu play. That happened to Ryan Silverfield. I don't know if you remember that. People were like walking around.
Oh, yeah. It's like, where are you going?
Yeah, when he was hired, it did not land well whatsoever with Arkansas Razorbacks fans. And there was just a run on all these SEC coaches. There was a lot of, moving and shuffling in late November and early December. And he tried to, do something right away and get some wins on the recruiting trail. He actually flipped a recruit from Missouri, and TJ Hodges, a 4-star running back. He gets another former Missouri commit who looked like he was possibly leaning back to the Tigers. And Anthony Kennedy Jr. keeps some of these guys back in the natural state. You expect them to win against North Alabama on September 5th. The game after that, you have to go on the road against Utah. I mean, that's a tough turnaround.
Not a game I'll pick them to win.
Yeah, and a new Utah staff still, you can say that, but this is a totally overhauled Arkansas program too, even with returners on offense and defense. I think to really boost, that morale for Arkansas, you have to win that game. We're not, the closest followers of the Razorbacks, and Payton mentioned more of that one-off season in 2021 where the Razorbacks win 9 games. But there's a lot of work for Silverfield to do with this program.
No doubt. And I mean, it's kind of reflected in just the transfer class. I mean, they were the 9th ranked class in the country, but I mean, they brought in 43 guys. So that kind of has a lot to do with it. Their highest rated guy, I believe, is the guy that's projected to be their right tackle, Bryant Williams from Louisiana. He is a 4-star transfer, so that is nice. They also did bring Silverfield brought AJ Hill with from Memphis. I know he didn't. I'm pretty sure that he saw some snaps at Memphis when they beat Arkansas last year. That's another thing to remember, that Silverfield beat Arkansas last year. I don't know what you can really realistically expect if you're a Razorbacks fan. They're the 15th best job in the SEC. I really don't think that's stretching it. I really do think outside of Vanderbilt, they are the worst job in the conference. They weren't going to reel in a Sumrall over Florida. They weren't going to reel in a Golesh over Auburn. Those are 2 jobs that are way above Arkansas's shoulders. And I don't think it should be a hot take to say that at this point in time. So it is going to take essentially the right coach to bring this program back up out of the dead, because I don't see them being in a position to bring in a lot of guys that are like super high quality 4-stars in and out, unless they have a phenomenal coaching job done. So that's going to kind of go down to come down to how good of a coach Silverfield really is.
Even with like all those changes too, Payton, Quincy Rhodes comes back. That was someone I think even Drinkwitz was very complimentary of going back to that matchup last year. He returns on the defensive end as an edge rusher. Payton, I want you to guess this because it is something that intrigues me. How many returning coaches does Arkansas have from last year? It's not zero. It's not zero. That's why.
Zero? I'm shocked by that. It should be 0. I'll say like 5.
It's 1. Morgan Turner, tight ends coach.
That's just not wanting to make a hire.
Best case scenario in your mind for this Arkansas team, record wise? Do you want me to give you I can give you the opponents if you want it.
Yeah, go ahead. I do have it pulled up in front of me, but
I'll read them off.
If you want to do the Rich Eisen.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll read it off because I think it's fair to say, this is Arkansas team beginning a rebuild, and maybe there is an opportunity to shock some of these teams with a lot of new look, and there's not much tape for maybe some of these guys, especially at the Power 4 level. But we'll do it. We'll just do the Rich Eisen. Ready?
Yes.
North Alabama.
Win.
All right. Utah.
Loss.
Georgia.
Loss.
Tulsa.
Win.
Texas A&M.
Loss. Well, tell me if these are on the road too.
Okay, at Texas A&M.
Yeah, loss.
At home against Tennessee.
I'll say loss.
Okay. On the road at Vanderbilt.
I'm a bit lower on Vanderbilt than a lot of others are this year. I feel like people expect them to kind of retain a lot of that. I'm in wait and see mode with them.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I'll still say this is a loss for Arkansas for now.
At home against Mizzou.
Loss.
On the road against Auburn.
Man, is this their last game of the year?
No, there's 3 more.
Okay, loss. I'll say loss to Auburn.
I think you're going to say win with this one. At home against South Carolina.
Man, this is really bad. I'll say win just because I feel like they should pick one off somewhere.
Yeah, they got a tough SEC schedule.
Terrible, but I don't know, because South Carolina, I do think will take a little bit of a step up at the same time from last year, just because they have so much continuity back in a conference with like everybody getting a new quarterback. They have a 3rd-year starter for them. I'll say Arkansas wins, though. I'll say they'll win.
That's the only SEC win you'll get out of this from Payton for Arkansas this year, because the next 2 are at Texas and then at home against LSU.
Yeah, those are losses.
Okay.
I think things would have to really be coming unglued at one of those programs for one of those to be a win.
3-9. That's what Payton's projecting for this Arkansas team first year under Ryan Silverfield. I would say that's a tough SEC schedule, in my opinion.
I believe it's the number 1 hardest rated strength of schedule, according to ESPN. Yeah. Don't tell Big Ten fans that. They hate that metric. Not trying to start anything, just saying they really don't like that metric.
Well, we'll see how the Hogs do. Be interesting, not watching this game at the end of the year, the end of the regular season, but it will be a Halloween game. Maybe we'll get some cool jersey matchups there. And I don't have it pulled up in front of me, Missouri football schedule. if this is a flex game or not. I don't remember any of those off the top of my head.
I don't either.
Missouri has it on its official website. This is a flex. So it could be 2:30 to 3:30 or in the 5 to 7 p.m. range. Could be a cool night game.
That would be a waste of time. Waste of a night game slot.
We'll pivot to the next week then. This one will have a little bit more to talk about. Probably the most anticipated home game, I think I would say, for this Missouri team this season, and that's against the Texas Longhorns. It's the first game in November. This is a Texas team, again, predicted to be the top team in the country starting the year. You get back Arch Manning at quarterback, he had a strong finish to last year. You retool that running back room with Raleek Brown coming over from Arizona State, and then Hollywood Smothers coming from South Carolina. Of course, I'd be remiss if I don't mention him. Cam Coleman joins that wide receiver room with Ryan Wingo and Emmett Mosley. He comes over from Auburn. It's a very retooled offense for the Longhorns. I remember seeing a lot of running backs enter the transfer portal, and they did just fine replacing those. And Arch had a good finish to last year. And this is a Texas team that wants to get back into that college football playoff after missing it last year. And there's the photos of Arch Manning out there with the cape and the crown on after winning the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl over Michigan. They want to get back to those competitions where they were facing Arizona State. They were in these big games. And this is probably the year to do it with Arch Manning under center.
Yeah, a lot of returners. And the spots they had to replace, I think they really, you could argue, upgraded a lot at. I think that the duo of Hollywood Smothers and Raleek Brown, those are 2 1,000-yard rushers. That's one of the best in the conference. I've made my feelings on the matter known. I think Missouri's number one, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, assuming Ahmad Hardy's back. You could make an argument that Texas is number 2, and I wouldn't dispute it per se. You mentioned Cam Coleman. I think he's arguably one of the best wide receivers in the conference, probably the country as well. He was a beast at Auburn. He just had really terrible quarterbacks throwing him the ball. No offense to Payton Thorne and Jackson Arnold, but that's not exactly a murderer's row. I would have to say getting him in and after losing Parker Livingstone is that's an upgrade in my mind. That wide receiver room could very easily be the best in the country, as much as I hate to admit it, with Ryan Wingo. The O-line, I'm sure, I'm not going to lie to you. I know Goosby's great. I know Goosby's really good. I don't know anything about either of the transfers they got. But I do trust that O-line, especially with Goosby, protecting Arch's blind side, I think it'll be just fine there. And on defense, our list only projects 3 guys that were not on Texas last year to be starters. And one of those guys is Bo Masco, who was one of the best corners in the country at Rutgers. Bo Masco is a monster. Colin Simmons, you could say he's the best edge rusher in the conference.
You could also say he's a top 10 player in the country, like when you don't even include quarterbacks. Like just in terms of impact, he is that guy on defense. Yeah,
getting him for one more year is massive. Needless to say, I'm pretty bullish on this Texas team's chances. I think it's them and Georgia are the 2 best in the conference in my mind this year.
Will Muschamp, defensive coordinator as well. I think there's just a lot of confidence in this Texas team, and from a national perspective, the fan base as well. Even those other 2 projected starters that are transfers on the defense. Is it Jaffrard, right? Yeah, he was at Arkansas. So I mean, it comes in from the SEC, and then Rasheem Biles, who's a linebacker. He came over from Pitt. So these guys have understanding of playing at the Power 4 level, and some of them playing in the SEC as well. A lot of, like you mentioned, a lot of returners. You look at this schedule now. There's the back half of the home and home with Ohio State, and you played at home. The 9-game SEC schedule. So it can be a tough schedule, especially when you have another college football playoff team in Ohio State. But this Texas team finished really well last year, Payton. We talk about Arch Manning kind of figuring it out. It was a very rough start for him. The numbers have proved that. But this Longhorns team went 6-1 in its final 7 games, and it had 2 top 10 teams. It took down two top 10 teams, and it took down Michigan as well in the Citrus Bowl. For you, Payton, you want me to? We can go through the schedule again, and we can go game by game if you want to predict this regular season for the Longhorns.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right, Rich Eisen style, Texas State.
Yeah, let's Rich Eisen it.
I will only say the team name if it's a home game, and then I'll say at if it's a road game. Make that easier for you.
Gotcha.
Texas State.
Win.
Ohio State. I can give you time too if that helps.
Nah, it's fine. So It's at home. I'll say win. They'll get their get back.
UTSA.
Win.
At Tennessee.
Win.
Oklahoma.
Win.
Of course, it's in the Cotton Bowl, the old Cotton Bowl. Florida.
Win.
Ole Miss.
It's at home. Oof.
Yeah. This is 4 straight SEC home games.
Man. Win.
Okay. Mississippi State.
Win.
At Missouri.
Win. Sorry, but win.
At LSU.
Ooh, it's tricky. I'm gonna say win.
All right. Arkansas.
Win.
At Texas A&M.
I think Texas is going to go 12-0. I'm going to say win.
All right. Payton, the schedule expert, has the Longhorns going 12-0 in the regular season.
I hope we don't cut back to me predicting Ole Miss and saying that Ole Miss would beat Texas in that episode.
Yeah.
That'd be awkward.
So we'll look at where this kind of shakes up for the Missouri schedule, Payton. Those first 6 games of the year: Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kansas, Troy, Mississippi State, Florida, and Texas A&M. You don't get your first bye until after Ole Miss. Ole Miss is the October 17th game. It's the 7th game of the year. And you go at Arkansas after that. And then it could be a very pivotal game just depending on the postseason outlook, even bowl game matchups for Missouri. I think for us, we can confidently say we don't know if we see this team as a college football playoff team right now. For the Tigers, I think a good ceiling is always that 9 games, and you try to get that 10th one in the postseason. But going to you have Texas at home November 7th. I think this is highly anticipated for everyone. It's the 8th game, 9, 10, 11, 10th game of the year, right? Am I doing my math?
No, number 8. 8.
No. 9, 10, 11.
8.
Okay, 8th game of the year. Are you sure? 9, 10.
I'm 100% sure. I'm looking right at it.
No, it's the 9th game of the year.
No.
Yeah, Texas.
I can't count. You are right. Yeah. Dang it!
Throwing me off.
Dang it! No, you're right.
After that, you go to Georgia on the road. It's your only road game in November. I think a lot of people are probably chalking that up as a loss, or just in the Bulldogs' favor right now, especially playing at home. And
Texas
you have Kentucky
and at Georgia in back-to-back week. That's an impossible prep. Missouri will not win either of those games.
And then you have Kentucky at home and Oklahoma at home. We know the Sooners team is very similar to last year. It's a very strong defense, considering it's seen as probably the best defense going into the 2026 season. John Mateer's back as well. I'll do that, Payton. Give me a record for those final 4 games of the year, with at home against Texas, on the road against Georgia, and then finishing the season at home against Kentucky and Oklahoma.
It's impossible. It really is impossible to accurately do it. You're basically having to make assumptions about 3 big things. One, how good or bad is the defense with all these new faces? They have 1 returning starter now, which we'll get to. How is Ahmad Hardy playing? 1, and how well is he playing? Is 2. And 3 is probably the most important: is Austin Simmons even good? If all 3 of those questions are positive for Missouri, I think at minimum you get 2 and 2 there, and the 2 are Kentucky and Oklahoma. I just don't see a world where Missouri is able to take down Texas and Georgia or either of them really, unless there's like a cataclysmic injury on one of those teams, or unless the games start playing and one of them just totally looks terrible and they collapse. So I'm going to go safe and just say 1-3, to be honest, because I feel like all three of those things happening for Missouri is what you hope for, but not necessarily what you bank on. I'll say at least one of those things are going wrong, and I'll say they'll get a win against Kentucky because I don't think they're going to go 0-4. That would be really, really, really – that would be a tough thing to deal with if you're Drinkwitz. If they go 0-4 that month, I'll say that they go 1-3 as of now.
I went and looked at the conversation Kyle had with Joe Cook of Inside Texas, and Kyle asked, what's the worst case scenario for this Longhorns team? And Joe said he was pretty blunt about it. The O-line still sucks. New running backs for Leek Brown and Hollywood Smothers aren't significant improvements over Quintervion Weisner and CJ Baxter, and Texas stumbles its way to a 9-3 record that is once again shut out by the College Football Selection Committee, or even botches 4 contests to log an 8-4 mark that doesn't merit consideration for the 12-team field. So I think that, there's, as you see, there's opportunities for this Texas team to go perfect in the regular season.
That'd have to be really, really, really wrong for those things to happen.
And like you mentioned, 2 transfers projected to start on this offensive line. There were some interior problems last year for the Longhorns, and your running backs leave and you try to replace them. And, Hollywood Smothers has played in the SEC before, like we mentioned. Raleek Brown has played at a high level. Would you like to get out?
Think Hollywood Smothers has.
How many what?
I don't think Hollywood Smothers has. I don't think he played for Oklahoma when they were in the SEC.
Oh, I meant like a high level. Did I say SEC? I just meant high level.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He rushed for 939 yards at NC State. He might have played at Oklahoma, like sparingly. Looking at the numbers, 11 attempts for 42 yards in 2023.
That would be the year before, I believe, they entered the SEC.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Didn't even think of that. Receiving yards, 189. He had more receiving yards in 2024. With 263, 571 yards on the ground. But would you like to get it out real quick? Who did Raleek Brown start over at Arizona State?
He started over Kanye Udo. Of course, he was a transfer from Army, who Missouri also had visit at I think literally a day before or after Ahmad Hardy visited. So quite a different world if Missouri takes Udo instead of Hardy. Or Hardy, who knows how it really went. Maybe Udo didn't want to come to Missouri.
This is a question that just came up in my head just because the ceiling for this Longhorns team is a national championship, winning the SEC outright. Like you mentioned, Payton, going 12-0 is definitely a possibility. How many times has Drinkwitz played the national champion, do you think? I mean, can you name them?
I can think of 2 right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
2020 Alabama, 2021 Georgia. Right? Georgia won in 21?
Yeah, Georgia did win in 2021.
22 Georgia did not win, I don't think.
Georgia won in 2022.
Oh, they did. They beat TCU. So there you go. That's 3.
Yeah.
And Missouri should have won that game. I think that was probably Georgia's most competitive game all year, unless I'm
say the same thing about Alabama until the national championship is what some people say. Mizzou played LSU the year after. LSU won the national title. But the first 3 years of Drinkwitz's tenure in Missouri, he played 3 teams that ended up winning the national title.
Yeah. And then to be fair, in 23, I'm pretty sure Georgia was the best team in the country that year. They just had one bad night in a 4-team playoff field at the worst possible time. So
I have one quick trivia question for you, Payton, and then we'll move on to quick hits. Missouri and Texas have played each other 7 times. Would you like to guess the record? neither
That's
direction.
it?
Yep, 7 times.
They have only ever played 7 times.
They've only played in the SEC once. Twice?
Wait.
Was Mizzou in the SEC in 2011? Was that the first year or 2012?
2012, I'm pretty sure. So Mizzou and who again?
Mizzou and Texas have only faced each other 7 times in football.
That is unbelievable to me. Like, I had to ask because I thought genuinely I was mishearing you. How? They were in the Big 12 for so long. I'll say Missouri's 2-5, 1-6.
Yeah, 1-6. You're right.
Yeah.
So last time, I can go through the games. 2000 in Austin, Longhorns won 46-12. 2004 in Austin, Longhorns won 28-20. 2005 in Columbia, Longhorns won 51-20. 2008 in Austin, Longhorns won 56-31. 2009 in Columbia, Longhorns won 41-7. And then 2011, Tigers last year in the Big 12. Tigers won 17-5 in Columbia.
Jesus. I think that was like Matt Brown's last year.
Would you like to guess? I guess you would know what the 2017 game is.
Yeah, that's the Texas Bowl.
Yeah.
How could I forget? I think that's the most famous one of those games.
Oh, it is. Most certainly. 33-16. Longhorns win that. A lot of GIFs out of that game.
I guess I totally forget that Texas was in the Southwest Conference for so long.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, because I asked you when, because I always get it confused if it's 2011, 2012, or 2013. And if someone wants to call me out for that, I was 10 years old in 2011.
I didn't know what Mizzou was back then. Really.
And I was like, why did Mizzou play Texas when Texas was still in the Big 12? But yeah, only 7 meetings all time.
Yeah. Gosh, that reminds me of like when we were going through the whole who's Missouri going to play in the New Year's 6 in 2023. You wanted Texas so bad. And I was like, I do not want to play Texas. I wanted to play Penn State, but well worked out in the end.
It did. Well, that's going to do it for our previews. Early season previews, summer preview action for Arkansas and Texas. We'll continue it again on Monday. I just realized I didn't even mention Jack is not here. I meant to say that at the top of the show.
He's been really quiet this whole time. He's just sitting.
Should we let him in? Yeah, that's going to do it. We'll see you guys on the other side with Quick Hits. All right, Quick Hits time. Jerseys of the week, but mine's going to be Leotard of the week, and it goes to Keegan O'Toole, the Missouri great wrestler. Announced the retirement from his professional career. He said, it's time to hang up the shoes. 19 years ago, I stepped on a mat for the first time. I had no idea it would shape the entire course of my life going down. And to everyone else along the way, coaches who believed in me before I believed in myself, teammates who pushed me past what I thought I had in every opportunity, who forced or opponents who forced me to become better. You all had a hand in this. Closing this chapter isn't losing something. It's just making room for what's next. Of course, O'Toole is on staff for Brian Smith with Tiger Style Wrestling. That's what he'll be working on moving forward, just helping carve out the roles for or the careers of the future.
I'm not putting my wrestling boots on. I am Keegan O'Toole. Congrats.
We're very, very excited to do that one. I'll go through it because I think, from a wrestling side, we don't cover it. We don't talk about it much unless it was something Keegan O'Toole related the last couple of years, especially when we were still on the radio on KCOU 88.1 FM. But he was a 2-time NCAA champion, 5-time All-American, 4-time conference champion, 2-time Dan Hodge Trophy finalist, 4-time academic All-Big 12, first all-time in Tech Falls at Mizzou. Second all-time in win percentage at Mizzou, 2021 Junior World Champion, and 2023 U23 World Champion.
It's quite a
nice
rap
resume.
sheet.
Yeah.
Quite a sheet indeed.
Happy trails, Keegan O'Toole, but he'll stick around. He'll still be on staff for Mizzou.
Happy trails.
Payton, your jersey of the week.
My jersey of the week is going to the Bills' new alternate uniform because, oh my, these are not good. Look, I'm not going to dogpile on what the meaning is or whatever because it's the Nickel City. Gray is not the Bills' color. It does not look very good. It's like I know a lot of people don't like those gray uniforms the Lions wear. They smoke these. I'm really sorry. And, the horns idea with the stripe behind the horns, it's a good idea in theory. In practice, it doesn't work for me on the helmets. I think these are a dud, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Bills. I don't love the uniforms.
I saw a good quote. It said, if you remove the helmets, these jerseys still suck. It's always like the start of like a sentence of, if they fix the helmets, it'll be better. It looks like a Pepsi can almost. The red.
I saw someone compare it to Valvoline.
Yeah, that's better. That's a better one. My mom, of course, big Ian Wheeler fan. He's been on the show before, former Howard and St. Thomas running back. She wants a Bills Ian Wheeler jersey. She collects each one. She has one for the Saints and the Bears. Do I get her this one?
Don't get her the Nickel City one. No, get her something else.
I don't even think she'd notice. I mean, she would just see the Ian Wheeler one. She'd be excited, but yeah.
But
this is a tough jersey.
You would know.
Let's look at it. More looks at it.
You did a bad thing. They look fine. These are bad,
I think people are overreacting. They look fine.
Kenny, these look bad.
Gray's a good color. I like gray.
I like gray. I don't really love it on uniforms, and I really don't like them on these uniforms.
Toriano Pride will wear them, most likely.
You'd think.
All right, Jack Knowlton's jersey of the week goes to Sterling Webb. We talked about him a little bit for 3 seconds in the opening part of the show, but this comes from Callum McAndrew. St. Louis County Judge Ellen H. Roboto has granted Mizzou defensive tackle Sterling Webb a temporary restraining order in his eligibility case against the NCAA. For now, he is eligible to return to the Tigers in 2026. This kind of came up out of nowhere in recent days. Earlier this week that Sterling Webb was going to sue the NCAA for a 5th year of eligibility, played all 4 years of college, was a part of the starting defensive line this past season, and played 2 years with the Tigers after transferring from New Mexico, right? Not New Mexico State.
New Mexico State.
Okay, it was New Mexico State. St. Louis guy, went to Westminster, and Payton, all expectations, even in the court documents, it said that Missouri has NIL staved up for him, has a roster spot for him. He is expected to practice on Monday now. What do you make of this?
Well, I don't love it, but it does benefit Mizzou. D-line in general is a bit of a question. I'd assume he starts opposite of Gracial. I wish it maybe could have been an edge rusher if Missouri was going to get a little bit of this TRO action. But, I mean, what can you do? Shout out Eli Hoff as well, who's done a lot of reporting on this. He did, as you mentioned, he got a quote from Bob Blitz, who is part of the UM System Board of Curators and the Mizzou D linemen's legal team. He just straight up said Sterling will be at practice on Monday. So clear and shut at the moment. So it's just a madhouse college athletics right now. It really is.
The best reactions you've seen is the Mizzou fans that weren't happy about the other teams doing it. And it happens for a position that didn't get retooled with any starters in the transfer portal. They did go after guys like Dante Simpson and, kind of swung at some guys that would be production in the next couple of years and still can be in that rotation this year, but they didn't really go after a starter, leaning on Marquise Gracial and Jalen Marshall, 2 5-year guys in the Tigers system. But bringing back Sterling Webb, I don't think it hurts whatsoever. Just having another guy with experience in that defense with Corey Batoon, with that defensive line. I think it will be interesting because he hasn't really worked with, he's worked with David Blackwell, of course, but this will be his first time working with Chop Harbin, the new defensive line coach. So see how he gets up to speed with everything there as well. All right.
I like no cap, and he's the main bird.
Shawnee's main bird of the week. My Shawnee's main bird of the week goes to Curtis Looper. My bird connection, he did coach at Auburn, War Eagle. I thought this was funny. This was definitely from the night before. So he posted this at 6:44 a.m. on July 29th. I'm sure it was on July 28th, but I quote tweeted on the Unwritten Rule and it said, "Morning ice cream guy." Yeah, Curtis Looper's that dude for doing this. Got all the running backs together. Ahmad Hardy there as well. Jamal Roberts, Maxwell Warner. All the guys are there. You're an ice cream guy, Payton, aren't you?
I like ice cream among many other foods.
You've been to this Andy's, this exact one.
Many a time. First of all, no brace or any leg thing for Hardy, it looks like. So that's nice. Second, I wonder if they ran into Jason Crow, because I follow Jason Crow on Instagram, and it feels like every other day he's posting that he's going to this exact Andy's.
Big scoop guy. Big ice cream
There's
guy.
not literally. There's a bird connection too for you.
What? Ahmad Hardy?
Crow.
Oh, yeah. Last week. Your Shawnee's main bird of the week.
Kid on Twitter that can do the American Crow call.
Yes, I've seen he does all birds.
I know that kid's a beast. Keep doing your thing, whatever your name is. My bird of the week, this is one of my favorite birds that I've done, is going to go to Peter Malnati, a former Mizzou golfer. He graduated when, Kenny?
2023.
Correct, 2009. Peter Malnati graduated Mizzou in 2009. This week at the Rocket Mortgage PGA Tour event, he fired off just a casual 28 on the front nine. He made the turn at 7 under. He was at, I believe, I checked the leaderboard. He was at like 31. No, not 31. Like 41 or so. Yeah, 41 through 13. Had a real shot at a 59, which is once in a blue moon on the tour. Wound up having to settle for a 61. He is still in the lead at 9 under. He's actually 2 strokes clear of Ricky Fowler. So bit torn there for me. But you may be wondering, how is this a bird connection? Well, Kenny, I'll tell you why. Peter Malnati, since going pro, has 2 professional PGA Tour wins. He won the Valspar Championship in 2024. That's his most recent one. He won by 2 strokes over second place Cam Young, too. So impressive win there. The Valspar is not a nothing event. But his first one, Kenny, the 2015 Sanderson Farms Championship. Now, if you'd be so kind as to Google the Sanderson Farms Championship, I would really appreciate it. Our YouTube viewers are going to see it first. And I'll describe it. I need you to look up the trophy. There it is. You can see the trophy. It's a chicken on top. Isn't that awesome? If you look up 2015 Sanderson Farms Championship trophy, I bet you can find a photo of Peter with it. You can't.
I don't see him. That's not him though. That's Sergio Garcia.
If you go to his Wikipedia, it's his photo on his Wikipedia. So look up Peter Malnati.
I don't remember how to spell his last name. Oh, there it is. Right. Wow, he's top search right now. Big bucket hat guy.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
There it is. Peter Malnati with the Sanderson Farms Championship trophy, which is a rooster on a pedestal that says champion. That's his. Now it's a little upgraded, but back then it was just a rooster
trophy
that says champion. That's awesome, isn't it?
Sir Big Spur. The Gamecock. You probably don't like that. Yeah. Couldn't see you. That's a good one. You did a really good job with that, Payton.
Thank you. I was looking dude, when I looked at his Wikipedia and saw that trophy, I was like, oh, this is it. This is my magnum opus for bird.
All right, Jack's main bird of the week goes to the Kansas Jayhawks. He wanted to point out this, just another kind of slight at – we talked about this, didn't we?
I don't know if we talked about it on the show. You and I talked about it on Xbox. I thought this joke was so funny.
Yeah, so with Aaron Ladd, sports director at KMU, he tweeted this. It was a quote from Drinkwitz in a video interview he did for Mizzou Extra. In Kansas, if you lose your dog on Monday, you walk out on the porch on Wednesday and you can still see it running. He's taken some good shots recently. Like, it seems like he's really leaning into it.
So funny. I'm sorry. Because you have to watch the video. Drink. All right, look, do not take this the wrong way. He is a dork, like in a good way. Like, he's got the glasses. He's got this goofy grin as he tells this corny ass joke. Like, that is hilarious. Like, I was laughing my ass off when I heard it the first time. That is a funny joke. But yeah, Kansas fans just gonna have a laugh, dude. Jeez, you go to the replies or the quotes. Just live a little, man. Just ignore it. I get the first one, maybe a little more on the tasteless side. The a hot girl in Kansas is a tourist one.
Yeah.
The first one he told. This one is funny. It is so funny to think about a guy in Hayes, Kansas, or wherever out west. His dog just takes off. 2 days later, he walks out on his porch and he can see it. That's hilarious.
It is funny. I think one thing that came of this too is that Kansas State fans and Kansas fans united. Made me think of that meme.
That's such a fake damn rivalry. Fakest rivalry I've ever seen.
It's the meme of like the Bloods and the Crips like holding up like bandanas tied together. Is what I thought of. It's just like, it's so silly. Like, just the Kansas and Kansas State fans are coming together to dislike Drinkwitz. It's funny.
That is
funny.
Genuine. Like, if you need any proof that that's a paper tiger rivalry, there you go. The two are teaming up to defend the honor of Kansas against the mean, evil Drinkwitz. Dorks.
Payton lives in Kansas.
Good kind.
You lived there.
I did not live in Kansas.
Yeah, you did. You lived in Kansas.
For very long. I lived there for like 2 months. Then we moved across the border.
Best thing you learned this week, Payton.
Best thing I learned this week. We have it. Missouri's full schedule. The conference schedule got announced, and then Missouri went ahead and posted theirs. No new surprises in the non-con section.
Whoa!
Hold on. We basically just got like a bunch of fodder. Cleveland State is the first game of the season on November 3rd. They'll get a little tune-up for SLU. And then the renewal of one of my favorite rivalries of the drink era, the SIUE series is back. I'm so excited.
Gates era. Gates era.
What did I say? The drink era? The Gates era. So they'll get another tune-up. Then you're hopefully heading into Marquette 3-0. If you're any worse than 2-1, the season is over. Then it's a rash of non-cons. I'll let Kenny talk about one of them. I know he's excited. Then it's full steam ahead, save for one game. You got the ACC, SEC, Pittsburgh. It's the only real team they play at home. You got the border war right after that in T-Mobile. You go right back to T-Mobile for Nebraska. I think is that a week later? Yeah, about a week later. Hit the road for Indiana. Then it's bragging rights. One last tune-up against Chicago State at home. Then it's conference play. Then it's full steam ahead. So I don't hate most of this schedule. It really sucks they have to go to Texas and to Florida. I don't look at any other road game and think there's no way they can win that, though. I know Tennessee's going to be tough, but all these games are going to be tough at the end of the day. So
those non-con games leading into Pitt, Alcorn State, Lemoyne, Evansville, Arkansas Pine Bluff, two that we didn't know, Lemoyne, Syracuse, Dolphins, and Arkansas Pine Bluff. We didn't know about that one. I don't think we knew about Chicago State either, like you mentioned.
I don't recall knowing about that.
That's happened before, though, right? Games happened.
I don't know that Missouri's played
No?
them in the Gates era.
Okay.
They have played Pine Bluff, I know.
Playing football this year too.
I don't think they've played Alcorn either.
No, we knew about Alcorn. We knew about Evansville. Lemoyne was a big surprise, kind of a fun one just for me with the Syracuse ties. I will point out, I don't have it on me. I'll wear it that day. You want me to wear it that day? I'll wear it on the show. Wear it on the post-game show. No, I'm not going to do that. 5-9 cons. It's just interesting to see that from this perspective. 2 in St. Louis, 2 in Kansas City, 1 in Chicago. We knew about all those games, but just to see them on here. I'll point out too, Payton, I think Mizzou did the wrong thing of making the home games white. I feel like they should.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I'll run through the SEC schedule. We have no reason to predict any of this, but I'll say if it's on the road, at Arkansas, Texas A&M, Kentucky, at Tennessee, South Carolina, at Oklahoma, at Vanderbilt, Alabama, Ole Miss, at Mississippi State, Tennessee, at Florida, Oklahoma, at Auburn, Arkansas, at Georgia, at Texas, and then round out the season at Mizzou Arena against LSU. Some of those dates can be changed. Texas is either like March 2nd or 3rd. You see some of these.
I believe those are Tuesday, Wednesday games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they'll just be Tuesday, Wednesday. Of course, we don't have any TV or time to go with those.
Of note, Missouri still does have one more home game they have to have against Howard, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's not this year. So kind of like that Minnesota situation, but I had to put it off.
Pushed it back. It'll be a better Minnesota team whenever that game happens, though. Tigers unveiled one of the.
They don't have another one against Minnesota.
Oh, they just totally scrapped it.
Well, no, the return game was last year.
Oh, yeah.
They played Minnesota at home.
I forgot about that. I thought there was going to be another one.
They visited in the 0-18 year.
Yeah.
I was at that game.
You were? The barn.
They won, and then they lost to Jackson State a few days later.
Best 0-5 team in the country. This is what Mizzou said in its announcement. Tigers unveil one of the most competitive schedules in program history with full slate announced Monday, 12 games against teams in ESPN Top 25, 15 contests versus 2026 NCAA tournament teams, 17 home games at Mizzou Arena. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that sums it up well.
Best thing Jack learned this week. I moved up Jack, so I'll do mine last. Because it does go into schedule talk. We know about a second scrimmage for the Tigers will be on October 23rd against Kansas State. Fulfills the home and home with scrimmages. We're going to be in Manhattan this year.
It's fun. New coaching staff and everything, too.
So we know about 2.
The man there now.
We know about 2. The other one is UNLV. Tigers have an opportunity to play one more preseason exhibition game as well. You get 3.
Very nice.
You want to choose?
We'll remember you fondly. 2025 home exhibition against Kansas State.
Why not Duke? Who's playing Gonzaga? There's a good exhibition game. Like there's Kansas.
Arkansas's playing Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Arkansas's also playing Kansas. I don't think I also need to clarify that their head coach is John friggin' Calipari. So that helps. I think my dream home and home for Mizzou basketball is UNC. I'd love to see UNC. To me is the coolest of the blue bloods in my opinion.
A lot of the preseason bracketology right now is Mizzou UCLA. I've seen it at least 2 or 3 times. It's another blue blood.
I don't know much about UCLA this year, to be honest. I'm sure I'll learn plenty about them, though.
Yeah.
Shout out Luke McDanty, friend.
Got a good friend to do that for you. Best thing I learned this week. I got to pull it up real quick before I switch over and give it away to what I'm doing. There it is. All right. Best thing I learned this week. I was on a phone call with someone I was talking to an SID trying to get an interview done. And at the end of the interview, it was the intern for this organization, and it's Austin. His name's Austin Thomas. He was at KCOU at Missouri when Payton, Jack, and I were there. We did the unwritten rule. And once I finished the interview with the player, Payton, he said to me, and you didn't believe me. You did not believe this happened. He said to me, "You're Kenny Van Doren from the unwritten rule, right? You know, you did the show with Jack Nolt." And I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. I didn't remember Austin. I do feel bad in that department. I looked him up while we were on the phone, and I was like, yeah, I remember seeing you. I'd never had a conversation with him. He was a couple of years younger than us, but I remember seeing him at meetings. But very cool. We overlapped for 1 year at Mizzou, and he still remembered the show, and I told him it was still going on, and he thought that was really great to hear. Jack told up both of us that he got Austin into KCOU. It was a recruiting win for him, is what he called it, and just really cool. Cool to see Austin still chasing a journalism degree, a sports, or I'm going to say journalism degree, a journalism job, a sports job right out of college.
I really do appreciate that you've just carried this outright live to the airwaves now, because this didn't happen.
Oh man, I should have left my auto recording going. I cut it off usually because I don't like them like super long. I should have kept it going, and you would have heard it. You would have heard him say it.
Mm-hmm. Real convenient.
Shout out Austin Thomas. Good
yeah,
guy.
Austin, if that's even your real name.
That's a cool thing though. I've been recognized.
Yeah,
a couple
it's
times.
cool. I wish it actually happened.
Humbly saying this, I have been recognized for like Astros Future podcast before in public. The one like weirdest thing is the first time I met our friend Max Baker. He's been on the show before. He came up to me at a party and said, "You're the Jose Siri guy, aren't you?" I'm not even kidding. Those words came out of his mouth because he saw me on Twitter. Like, I think we had followed each other, but we never had spoken. And he was just tweeting about former Astros outfielder Jose Siri. That's what he knew me as.
People have really recognized you for Astros Future?
I'm not even joking. Yes. Like, I was
like in public, like in Houston?
Yeah, in Houston. I had a guy like our age come up to me and say, like, "Are you Kenny Van Dorn?" Yeah, it's me.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
and also
me.
you're lying. But
I'm not lying about that. I'm not lying about
it would
any
be
of
cool
this.
if that actually happened to you.
How many? You want me to what?
I said it would be cool if that actually happened to you.
Oh, well, it did. All right. For best beats of this week, we didn't get one from Jack, so we thought we'd just go back and just kind of look at some of our futures that we have on FanDuel. Payton,
I got a lot in the
State.
can. I got some wins coming.
Talk through them. Talk through some of yours.
NC State plus 3.5. I think they're playing Virginia. I'm pretty sure they're playing
Virginia Tech?
No, just Virginia. I think they're
Was this a
playing
game
Virginia
it's in Ireland, right?
What?
It's in Ireland. No,
they moved it back.
it was in Brazil.
Yeah,
it's
not in Brazil anymore.
Yeah, week 0.
Yeah, I don't know. I took that because I couldn't think of a bet that week. Cubs to win the NL Central. There's still time.
Plus 115. Make sure you say the number.
Plus 115. There's still time. Okay? Not out of the woods yet. Tarek Skubal is on the board, and the Cubs are playing good baseball as of late. Dolphins under 4.5 wins. I'll take that to the bank. You didn't even put the odds on that. Because they're even. Duh. Notre Dame plus 700 to win the national championship. I don't know. That feels like a decent bet. I think CJ Carr is looking as advertised in all these off-season academies and everything. And they're even able to sort of replicate their rushing attack. That's going to be a dangerous team.
We all did national championships. I'll read through those. I had Georgia plus 900 and Jack had Oregon plus 850. April 29th.
Dodgers minus 100,000 to make the playoffs. You might as well color that green because that's going to happen.
Can't do it yet. Shohei's not playing tonight. He's not in the lineup.
Yeah. Anyways, talk through yours.
All right. One more.
300 to win the SEC because I think they're the best team to win in the SEC.
Yeah. All right. Going through my futures now. I'll read Jack's at the same time. The day, April 1st, April Fool's Day, Payton had Dolphins under 4.5 wins. I had Jaguars plus 2,200 to win the Super Bowl. And Jack had Bears.
Jaguars plus 2,200. He didn't write anything.
Well, I knew this. I knew it was a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just to win the whole thing is what I was saying. Bears over 9.5 wins from Jack. All right. And then Jack doubled down a couple months later.
Wow, you guys are high on the Jaguars.
Yeah, Jaguars plus 190 to win the AFC South. And I took Caleb Williams plus 1,500 to win MVP.
That is such a shit bet, dude. That's such a bad bet.
In the same week that you took Georgia to win the SEC, Jack took Ole Miss plus 900 to win the SEC.
This is why you wanted to talk about the futures.
This is why I wanted to talk about the futures. I'm pulling it up right now. The NBA title odds as of right now, recording at 646 on July 31st. It's a Thursday. The odds for the 76ers to win the NBA title in the 2026-2027 season are now at plus 1100. I took it, and I took it because out of confusion. I thought the number was really high. It did not make sense to me, or I guess low is the correct way to say it. 76ers plus 2,000 to win the NBA Finals. The next day, after the show came out, the 76ers signed the greatest basketball player of all time in LeBron James.
No, they
and those odds shot up. So good on me.
You could cash that out. I feel like the LeBron GOAT debate has really taken a tumble the last few years.
Yeah. It's a journeyman career. Now.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
He's basically Tyler Clippard. Why don't we move on to joke? Thank you. You know, who do you think cares more about the World Baseball Classic? Tyler Clippard or Tarek Skubal?
Oh, Tyler Clippard, 2017 alone.
Yeah. Adam Jones, shout out. Giancarlo Stanton, shout out. That game in San Diego, one for the generations. Back when we cared. We were so cool in 2017. Moving on. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Kenny, what's a witch's favorite subject in school?
Is it an easy one or no?
It makes sense. Which is
being expelled.
You're on the right track.
Just give it to me.
Spelling.
Okay.
Not
a subject, but
yeah.
Would you say that's a subject? Was it a subject when you were like in?
Would you say being expelled is a subject?
No, but couldn't think of anything. You made me think of something.
Spelling is close enough. It's grammar, writing, ELA, blue folder, by the way.
Yeah, yellow.
That was a good call, actually.
I think. Would you say blue?
I said blue. Now I don't feel that way. Math is blue.
You never know. It's different for everyone. Different parts of the country.
It's red. What's red?
Social studies.
No. You know what? Math red. Math red. Social studies blue. English is yellow. Science is green. I think everyone can agree science green. Are there any? Did we learn about anything else?
That was it. That's all they taught us. American system. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of The Unwritten Rule. Hopefully we'll have Jack back on Monday doing some more previews, talking about media day ahead of fall camp, which begins on Monday. Football season right around the corner. August will go quick as we get through this, get more updates on this offense, defense, and this team in year 7 under Eli Drinkwitz. This has been The Unwritten Rule brought to you by FanDuel. We will see you guys next week.